we're putting a 50% tariff on above.
US President Donald Trump has given China 1 day to end the 34% retaliatory tariffs it imposed on US products last week, or he'd slap an extra 50% duty on imports from China. It's an escalation in a trade war that has sent global markets into a downward spiral and stoked fears a recession is around the corner. Trump gave his ultimatum to China at the White House on Monday.
If that tariff isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on. So they've gone for years. They've become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way.
Trump's long-promised round of global retaliatory tariffs were announced last week, with some rates as high as 50%. He has said they will help the U.S. recapture an industrial base that has withered over decades of trade liberalization. On Monday, administration officials said dozens of countries had reached out to Washington in hopes of heading off the tariffs before they take effect Wednesday. However, Trump said he has no plans to suspend tariffs during negotiations.
Would you be open to a pause in tariffs to allow for negotiations?
Well, we're not looking at that. We have many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us, and they're going to be fair deals.
Beijing has responded with anger to Trump's latest threat. The Chinese Commerce Ministry said Tuesday China will never accept the blackmail nature of the United States and said U.S. threats were a mistake on top of a mistake. Trump said Monday his administration would open trade talks with Japan, one of Washington's closest allies in Asia. Meanwhile, the EU has proposed counter-tariffs of 25% on a list of U.S. goods over Trump's earlier steel and aluminium tariffs, according to a document seen by Reuters. EU Trade Chief Maroš Šefčovič said Monday they're ready to negotiate a zero-for-zero deal with the Trump administration.
While the EU remains open to and strongly prefers negotiations, we will not wait endlessly.
The 27-member EU bloc is struggling with tariffs already in place on autos and metals. It also faces a 20% tariff on other products on Wednesday. And Trump has threatened to slap tariffs on alcoholic drinks from the EU. Investors and political leaders are still trying to figure out if Trump's tariffs are permanent or a pressure tactic to win concessions from other countries. And many investors are now betting that the growing risk of recession could prompt the U.S. Federal Reserve to cut rates as early as next month. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has so far indicated he is in no rush.